While tidying up Adrian's clutter, I unexpectedly found a love letter. Compared to the surrounding tattered books, it looked exceptionally neat and clean. It was clearly cherished and carefully kept by its owner. I thought it was a record of our sweet moments, so I tidied it up and set it aside. Suddenly, Adrian stormed in angrily, dragging Elise with him, and kicked me to the ground while I was still cleaning. "Leah, why are you here alone? Don't you know Elise is the one who needs care right now? She just burned her hand, and you can't even manage to take care of her properly as a nanny? I'm not letting you go out to work just so you can look after Elise, and you can't even handle such a small thing." My tailbone hit the table, sending a dull numbness through me. I gritted my teeth against the pain and spoke, "Are you blaming me for letting her get hurt?" Seeing me like this, he was momentarily stunned. But Elise beside him whimpered, quietly sobbing. "Adrian, my hand still hurts so much." Adrian held Elise's hand and lashed out at me. "Elise's hand is already injured, and I paid you to take care of her. This is how you treat her?" My heart felt like it was being struck by a dull blade, stirring a dense, aching pain. Originally, I was already unhappy with Elise staying at our house, but it was Adrian who begged me for a long time. Only then did I give up my high-paying job outside and focus on taking care of Elise at home. I was about to lose my temper, but thinking that Elise went blind to save Adrian, I held back my anger. Although I didn't like her, she was still my husband's lifesaver. I sighed and softened my tone. "Let me bandage Elise's hand." Hearing my response, Adrian's harshness eased a bit. He placed Elise's hand in mine. "You must take good care of Elise's hand. Such fair and delicate skin can't be left with scars. Don't do any housework either, just focus on taking care of Elise. She can't see anything right now, but her personality is lively and restless, so be extra attentive." My heart ached bitterly. I had taken care of him for so many years, my hands were already cracked. Compared to Elise's hands, it was like night and day. Just as I was about to help her pick out the pus, she screamed sharply. "Adrian, my hand hurts so much, Sister Leah is stabbing me." Adrian shoved me away forcefully, and my hand swung onto the silver needle, pricking a small wound that immediately started to bleed. He glared at me fiercely, then held Elise in his arms to comfort her. "Don't be afraid, I'll take you to the hospital." Without looking back, he carried Elise out the door. My anger was about to burst out of my chest, and I even forgot to treat the wound on my hand. Even though he was my lifesaver, Adrian had given her millions over the years. That debt of gratitude should have been repaid long ago. Besides, her eyes were still treatable, but she always said she was afraid to drag it out and not go. I angrily punched the doll Adrian gave me on our first wedding anniversary, and after venting, I reluctantly hugged it to my chest. Clearly, the bond between Adrian and me was bought with his life, so why was he so attentive to someone else? Seeing the somewhat aged love letter on the table, curiosity compelled me to open it. The moment I opened it, there were Elise's tender notes and a few photos. "I want to be with you, please give me a chance." Below, in Adrian's elegant handwriting, was the reply, "Okay." The letter that followed was never sent. Adrian had written many words expressing how much he missed her. The date signed at the bottom was from 5 years ago. 5 years ago, they were still a couple envied by everyone, and everyone believed they would walk down the aisle together. But later, Elise had an accident, and her parents took her abroad for treatment, so that relationship quietly came to an end. In the photo, Adrian is holding his son Adrian's hand while sharing a kiss with Elise in the snowy foreign land. The photographer's skill was exceptional, capturing the usually cold and aloof Adrian in an unusually tender moment. The timestamp on the photo was 10 days ago, and the caption still read, "Lovers who cannot be together." My hand holding the photo froze midair, then dropped limply by my side. 10 days ago, Adrian said the soil in the park was loose, and as a forest ranger, he needed to stay there day and night. I stared at the photo, dazed, as if someone had grabbed my throat, leaving me gasping for air. Seeing the last line, "In the snow, we fell in love, and the vows we made will never break," all my defenses crumbled. It turned out he had been lying to me all along, deceiving me that his heart had long since made room for me. When I was suffering from a sudden heart palpitation and needed care the most, he said Elise would be scared alone at home, so he stayed by her side without leaving. When I was flustered because our son had a fever, he took Elise to the sea to relax. When my mother passed away, he used work as an excuse to accompany Elise to the gardens to enjoy the scenery. On our wedding anniversary, he put off the plans I had been organizing for over half a year, all for Elise's eyes. He made an unbreakable vow with our son and Elise on a foreign street, even having a photographer witness their beautiful bond. It turned out they had been involved for a long time, and I was only just finding out now. He had already betrayed me so many times, so many. Clutching the photo tightly, it creased in my hand. I sank to the floor, a wave of helplessness washing over me. Is it really expected to repay a lifesaver with your body? As soon as the words left my mouth, I stood up and rummaged through the drawer for that photo. It was the one where Adrian, covered in wounds, was carrying me out of the earthquake site. And then, I found my answer. During the magnitude 6 earthquake, I was left in the classroom because my leg injury made it impossible for me to run. Before being buried, I saw Adrian walking towards me. We were both trapped beneath the rubble, and he stayed above me, shielding me from falling debris. But as time dragged on, I could hear the clicking sounds coming from his waist. He whispered weakly, "If we make it out, will you marry me?" I cried as I hugged his neck, giving him a reassuring answer. After we were rescued, he brought me meals every day and even stocked snacks in my drawer. We naturally got married, and we had Lucas as the bond of our marriage. I took those things and went to the hospital to look for Adrian. When I arrived at the ward, I saw Elise nestled in Adrian's arms. "Adrian, if I hadn't gone blind, do you think it would be me standing by your side now?" At this moment, I also held my breath, waiting for an answer. "Yes." The hand holding the love letter slipped, making a crisp snapping sound. Adrian saw me standing at the door, and after settling Elise, he walked over to me. Seeing him walk toward me step by step, I suddenly felt as if I saw the Adrian who once said he would marry me. Seeing my loss of composure, his voice took on a tone of reproach. "Why are you only coming now? Don't you know Elise needs care the most right now? I can fire you anytime, you better take good care of her." When I didn't respond for a long time, he frowned. "Forget it, if you can't even handle this small matter, I'll just do it myself." He was about to turn and head back to the ward, but I grabbed the corner of his shirt and threw the photo and that love letter onto him. He didn't explain to me immediately but instead picked up the items on the floor with a pained expression, then shouted at me angrily, "Who gave you permission to touch these things?" I snatched those things away and threw them on the ground, stomping on them hard several times. "What? Still thinking about her? Don't forget we've been married for 5 years. 5 years." He looked displeased, his fingertips trembling as he picked up the letter. "What are you making a fuss about?" "I'm just repaying a debt. She needs me." I slapped him hard, the sharp sound echoing down the hallway. "What? Does repaying a debt mean cheating? Does repaying a debt mean kissing her? Then what do you call sending her all my salary over the years?" My emotions surged, my heart pounding so fiercely it felt like it would burst out of my chest. Inside, Elise let out a painful moan. "Adrian, I don't feel well." He shot me a fierce glare. "Elise and I are innocent. I only see her as a sister." No sooner had he spoken than he hurried into the hospital room. Watching his retreating back, the facade I had maintained for years finally shattered at this moment. Passers-by stopped to watch, as if mocking my failed marriage. The emotional turmoil made my heart ache. I wanted to buy some medication for palpitations, but was told that my health insurance quota had already been used up this morning. I anxiously flipped through the records to check, but I had clearly only used it once this year. When I saw the charges, my body went limp, losing all strength and means. All the expenses had been taken by Adrian to pay for Elise's so-called burn examination. My heart ached more and more, like being submerged in seawater, almost suffocating me. But I no longer wanted to question it, his blatant favoritism toward Elise was the answer. I drafted a divorce agreement with the law firm, ready to end this ridiculous marriage. I wanted to wait for my son to come back and ask if he was willing to leave with me. But that wait lasted the entire night, and as the clock hands moved, my anxiety grew. I called my son's phone watch, but no one answered on the other end. Worried, I hurried out to look for him. I asked his teacher at school and learned that he had long since left. I searched the places he usually liked to go, but still saw no sign of him. By now, the plane I had booked had already taken off, but I no longer cared. My heart ached with anxiety as I helplessly called Adrian. The line connected quickly. Adrian. Our son is missing, can you help me find? Before I could finish, Elisa's sweet, syrupy voice interrupted. Adrian, is this the place where we once hid the treasure? Let's dig here. Adrian hurriedly hung up the phone. They were clearly not at the hospital, but I no longer had the heart to dig deeper. The mere thought of what my son might be going through made tears stream uncontrollably down my face. I went to the police station to file a report, and soon the police helped me pinpoint Lucas's location. It was in the garden area that Adrian was in charge of. I drove there, and as soon as I stepped into the garden, I heard my son's triumphant voice. Aunt Elise, don't be afraid. If Leah bullies you, I'll help you get revenge. The innocent voice of my son sent a chill down my spine, and the anxious footsteps came to an abrupt halt. Elise soothed him with a gentle voice. Lucas, you're so wonderful, knowing how to be grateful. Unlike some people, I came back from treatment abroad only to find he had already settled down and started a family. Anyone with half a brain could hear what she was implying. Adrian could only comfort her softly. I'm sorry. I have let you down. Our son chimed in beside us. Aunt Elise, I wish you were my mom. My fury exploded all at once. I rushed over, grabbed Lucas by the butt, and started hitting him. I carried you for 10 hard months and gave birth to you, and this is how you repay me, learning to be so sly and sneaky. He let out a painful wail, shouting all the while, I don't want you as my mom, I want Aunt Elise to be my mom. You're not pretty, and you're so mean, neither Dad nor I like you. After he said that, I squeezed even harder. Elise anxiously intervened beside us. Leah, don't hit the child, let's talk this through calmly. She tripped over a stone on the ground because she was in a hurry to come over, leaving a long scratch on her leg. Adrian quickly helped her up and settled her down. Then, with a look of impatience, he came over and grabbed my hand. Have you had enough of making a scene? Lucas is just a kid, he was only trying to joke with you. My chest heaved violently with anger. A joke? I am a mother. He is a part of me. Do you know how desperate I was when I was looking for him? I imagined all the worst outcomes, I was about to die, do you understand that? Hearing my shout, Lucas instinctively lowered his head. Adrian's demeanor softened, and he tried to come over to talk to me calmly. Elise, standing nearby, let out an uneasy sound. Adrian, I think I hear the sound of soil moving. Adrian's face suddenly changed. That's the sound of the earth shifting and collapsing. There's a flood release upstream, we're probably facing a mudslide here. He grabbed Elise and Lucas by the hands and ran toward the patrol car. His strong survival instinct made me quicken my pace to follow closely behind. But there were only 3 seats in the patrol car. When I tried to squeeze in, Elise let out a sharp scream. It hurts. Don't push me anymore. My son shoved me, pushing me off the car. Adrian looked anxious. Leah, wait here for a moment. Rescue personnel will arrive any minute now. I clung tightly to the car, refusing to let it start. Adrian. I'm your wife. And she's just an outsider. Do you really have to treat me like this? The sound of stones mixed with muddy water grew louder, his brows furrowed with impatience, and he kicked me aside with a single foot. You can protect yourself, but Elise can't see. Don't be so selfish. With that, he rode off on the patrol car, leaving me standing there alone. The sound grew closer and closer, and I saw the rushing mudslide surging toward me. My survival instinct made me run, but my speed was no match for the mudslide. Soon, I was engulfed by it, and my world plunged into darkness. The rushing water swept me into a cave, where the surrounding rubble buried me, making it hard to breathe. I could only struggle to dig away the stones, my nails throbbing with sharp pain. But my strength quickly gave out, and soon I was buried again under fresh rubble. I could only lie quietly beneath it, awaiting the sentence of death. "Is anyone there?" a male voice called out. Suddenly, I found the strength to push away the stones covering my mouth. "I'm here." The voice I made was harsh and hoarse, like a vengeful ghost claiming a soul. I soon felt the weight on me gradually lessen, and before long, I saw the light again. A group of young rescue team members surrounded me, bursting into joyful laughter. The man at the front's voice trembled. "Leah?" I carefully studied his face and realized he was my childhood friend, Noah. He told his teammates to call an ambulance first, then gently wiped my face with a wet wipe. "You're here now? What about Adrian? Isn't he the forest ranger around here?" Seeing someone I could trust, all my grievances poured out. I could only sob in his arms without explaining why. My tears dirted his clothes, but he didn't complain. He carried me on his back until the ambulance arrived. I saw his broad back. Suddenly, I remembered the past. I thought of that spirited young man. Before I started dating Adrian, our relationship had always been good. But after Elise left and I expressed my desire to pursue Adrian, our relationship grew increasingly distant. On Valentine's Day, he asked me to meet him in the school's back garden to confess his feelings. But at that time, I couldn't figure out my own feelings for him, so I refused. He stormed off in a huff, leaving me alone in the back garden. Not long after he left, a magnitude 6 earthquake struck. The buildings around me collapsed, and soon I was buried beneath the rubble. Only Adrian came walking toward me, and it was then that I completely fell for him. After I was rescued, I saw Noah standing nearby with red-rimmed eyes. When he saw me come out, he quickly turned and left. The next time I heard news of him was from his mother, who told me he had joined the rescue team. But by then, I was already engaged to Adrian. He didn't come to our wedding, he only sent a bracelet. But knowing I was a married woman, I returned the items. I never expected that the next time we met, it would be in such a pitiful state. I was rushed into an ambulance, and he was more anxious than the doctors. He kept asking about my condition, leaving me both amused and exasperated. As I was wheeled into the ward, I saw Adrian walking down the corridor holding Elise's hand, with our son by his side. I really wanted to ask him why he betrayed me, but I suppressed the resentment in my heart. I didn't want Noah to see me acting like a shrew. Noah had to leave temporarily due to an urgent mission, and before he left, he gave me some instructions. But my heart still felt uneasy, so I had to go for a checkup alone. I was just resting on a bench around the corner when I saw the familiar 3 people. Adrian and Lucas were pleading with the doctor. "Doctor, can her eyes still be healed? I heard you are the best ophthalmologist here. As long as you can cure her, I'm willing to pay any amount." Those around were moved by his actions, praising him as a good husband. He didn't deny it, instead, a proud smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. I hid in the shadows, hearing the compliments from those around him, and couldn't help but mock myself. His real wife was buried in the mudslide, nearly losing her life, yet here he was, staying with his childhood sweetheart. Not even my own son had ever shown concern for me. My son's sharp eyes caught sight of me, and he shouted loudly, "Leah!" Adrian dragged me over, forcing me to kneel before her. "Apologize to me right now. Look at all these bruises on her body. If I hadn't asked, I wouldn't have known how you've been taking care of her." My anger flared up, and words of rebuttal slipped out. "What have I done? Are you talking about waking me up in the middle of the night to cook for her, or insisting on telling me you're scared and making me get up when I'm asleep?" Hearing my retort, my son instantly lost his composure too. He rushed over and pushed me to the ground. "Leah! Don't go too far. These are your responsibilities, so don't make excuses here. You stole the place that belongs to Aunt Elise. Don't you feel ashamed?" You shameless little thief. Before you were asked to take care of Aunt Elise, she was cheerful every day. But ever since you started looking after her, she sighs and moans constantly. If you weren't abusing her, how could she be like this? Watching my son, whom I had raised with so much effort, speak harshly to me for another woman, I felt an endless chill in my heart. I gave up a job that paid $20,000 a month. To help you repay your debt, I would have accepted just $2,000 from you. Besides, it was you who begged me desperately before I agreed. Perhaps because I hid the truth, he began to stir up trouble. You scared her, now she's gloomy and refuses any treatment. If it weren't for you, her eyes would have healed long ago. Why isn't it you who went blind? I stopped arguing, staring blankly at him. The person before me became a stranger, and the 5 years of feelings completely tore away that veil of shame. All those tender illusions were shattered, leaving me utterly alone and helpless. When you were hoarding all your old stories, did you ever think about how I felt? You act like a good person, using my medical insurance. You really are a coward. You were the one who brought her home. What does it have to do with me if something goes wrong with her? He raised his hand to strike me, but the pain never came. Noah grabbed his hand and swung it aside, pulling me protectively into his arms. Adrian, seeing who had arrived, grew even angrier. We're not even divorced yet, and you're already with another man? Do you think I'm dead? Watching him twist the truth, I couldn't help but slap him across the face. But my anger unresolved, I completely lost my mind. I threw everything I could at him, shouting angrily. Didn't you say Elise was your wife? I pointed at Lucas again. Didn't you say she was your mother? Your heart is filled with someone else, so what does our marriage mean? He looked guilty, instinctively glancing toward the hospital room. Don't talk nonsense. Elise and I are innocent. I only see her as my lifesaver. She isn't even married yet, don't say such things. I snorted coldly. Even now, he was defending Elise's reputation. I threw those photos in his face. Does a lifesaver need to be kissed? Need to offer herself? Looking at the father and son before me, I felt an overwhelming sense of disgust. Tomorrow, let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau and get a divorce. Without waiting for his reply, I grabbed Noah's hand and walked out of the hospital doors. Once outside, Noah's quiet laughter reached me. What are you laughing at? Is it that funny? It's so embarrassing. By the end, I couldn't help but laugh until I was trembling. After calming down, he looked at me seriously. Are you really sure you want a divorce? You're even giving up on our son? Yes. He stared at me steadily, his eyes full of joy, but quickly returned to normal. All right. I arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau early, wanting to end this absurd marriage as soon as possible. But I waited a full 2 hours before Adrian and Lucas leisurely brought Elise over. Seeing the urgency on my face, Adrian's expression turned cold. Do you really have to get a divorce? Our 5 years together, can it just end like that? Before I could answer, Elise's coquettish voice came through. Honey, are you not done yet? I'm starting to feel a bit unwell again. A look of disdain crossed my face. They weren't even divorced yet, and she was already acting this intimate. His expression was displeased as he turned back and whispered a scolding to Elise. I only see you as my sister and lifesaver. Don't call me that, my wife is still here. Hearing him call me his wife made me feel sick. I couldn't help but urge, hurry up and finish, I have an appointment. Gritting his teeth, he stepped into the Civil Affairs Bureau with me. I quickly signed my name, but when it came to Adrian's turn, he hesitated and couldn't bring himself to write. Leah, can we not get a divorce? The thought of a life without you breaks my heart. We already have a child together, are you really going to be this resolute? Seeing him fidgeting like this now, my anger surged from deep within. I strode out quickly and slapped Elise right across the face. Elise let out a scream, and Adrian immediately rushed out from inside, shielding her in his arms. You're truly vicious. If you have any grievances, take them out on me, not an innocent person. She lost her sight for me, can't you stop making a scene? You have so many people around you, but she only has me. I'm just trying to repay my lifesaver as best I can. Do you have to make things so final? Listening to his mindless remarks, I just felt disgusted. I must have been blind before, not realizing he was this kind of person. I was completely impatient, just wanting to get out of here as soon as possible. Have you finished signing? Can you hurry up? Stop dawdling like some sissy. At this moment, he calmed down, remained silent for a long time, then turned and walked back into the civil affairs office. His back was hunched. I knew it was an old injury he had sustained while saving me. If this had been before, I would have felt sorry for him. But now, I couldn't stir even the slightest ripple of feeling for him. He slowly came out and said, "I've already signed. I hope you never regret it." He took his lifesaver by the hand and walked away with Lucas. The setting sun stretched their shadows long, like a happy family of three. I clenched the divorce certificate tightly in my hand. I could finally break free from the shackles called marriage. Noah took a year off, wanting to accompany me to our favorite beach. As soon as we landed, I saw a boy about the same age as Lucas crouching by the roadside. The sign read, "Please, kind-hearted people, help me bury my mother." Although the airport was bustling with people coming and going, few were willing to stop for him. I went to buy some KFC and handed it to him. He timidly shrank back, meekly saying to me, "I'll move out soon, I'll move out soon." Seeing his appearance, I couldn't help but feel sorry for him. I took a tissue from my bag and wiped his face clean, revealing his fair skin. "Do you need help? Take us to your home." He quickly knelt down and kowtowed to me, repeatedly saying thank you. But at that moment, Noah had disappeared. After waiting for a while, he hurried over carrying a few pieces of clothing. "Your clothes are dirty, change into these." He bowed repeatedly in thanks, but Noah quickly stopped him. We drove to his home and found the house was simple, yet very clean. We saw his mother resting peacefully in bed. After a few seconds of silent mourning, we called someone to come and take care of things. By the time everything was done, it was already afternoon. The little boy told us his name was David. Looking at his lonely figure, I couldn't help but think of Lucas. If only Lucas were half as dutiful. Noah and I exchanged a glance, then reached out our hands to him. "Would you like to live with us? We won't treat you badly." He nodded. Our trip for two had turned into a trip for three. When we went to the restaurant to eat, Noah specially took David and me to get dressed up. Looking at myself in the mirror, I could hardly believe it. Since I got married, Adrian had told me, "Once you're married, you can't go out showing off anymore." From then on, I kept things simple, going about every day with a bare face. David walked over from the side and unabashedly complimented me. "You're so beautiful." His words made me feel shy. Noah came over and put the bracelet on me, whispering in my ear, "I've always believed you are the rightful owner of this bracelet." My face flushed, and I felt my whole body burning with heat. Just as they sat down in the restaurant, a fierce argument broke out nearby. "Don't think I can't see you getting cozy with other women just because I'm blind. I can smell someone else's perfume on you. Which little bitch dares to seduce my husband? I'll kill you." Elise, unable to see, could only grab a waiter's hair at random and shout curses loudly. The commotion drew the attention of the other diners in the restaurant. Lucas and Adrian lowered their heads, cheeks burning. "Why is no one saying anything? Where's your manager? I want to speak to your manager and file a complaint." The manager was called out, and seeing his employee treated like this, his face darkened. "Sir, I don't know what mistake our waitress made while serving you, but please control your wife and don't disturb the other guests, okay?" Elise spat out a curse and slapped the waitress hard. "I'm telling you, don't think you can bully me just because I can't see you. Your waitress seduced my husband and was flirting with him right in front of me. Don't think I don't know. Today, you must give me an explanation. Either hand her over to me to deal with, or have her resign." The waitress finally lost her temper and threw her service badge on the ground. "I'm serving you, and you're slandering me. With your husband's looks, who would want him anyway? The waitress stormed off angrily, and the manager hurried after her. But Elise kept on relentlessly splashing accusations. Call your boss over. I want to complain about this manager, he's completely useless. The murmurs around grew louder and louder, and Adrian's expression started to falter. He glanced around nervously, just as our eyes met while I was watching the commotion. At the moment he saw me, his face froze for a brief second. Adrian, I went blind saving you, and this is how you treat me now. You ungrateful, heartless scoundrel. He furrowed his brows and scolded sharply, stop making a fuss. That was just a waiter earlier. Can you not make a big deal out of it? Elise was still babbling on an argument, and Lucas, feeling embarrassed, left first. Adrian, seeing everyone's displeased expressions, quickly pulled her out the door as well. After watching this farce, I only felt that the meal tasted even better. David asked me curiously, did you just meet that man? Why was he staring at you the whole time? I didn't look up and answered firmly, no, I don't know him. In the evening, the temperature was just right. Noah suggested taking David and me to the beach to play, and even bought me a swimsuit. But looking at the ugly stretch marks on my belly, I still couldn't bring myself to wear it. Seeing that I hadn't changed yet, Noah gently asked, what's wrong? Don't like that outfit? No. I have stretch marks on my belly. It looks too ugly, so never mind. It's fine as it is now. He pulled me close, making me look into his eyes. Don't worry, those are badges of honor as a mother, not shackles to make you feel ashamed. You can choose not to wear the swimsuit because it doesn't look good, not because of your flaws. I nodded and still put on the swimsuit. I had just stepped out when David exclaimed, Godmother, you're so beautiful. He has always been my biggest fan. The three of us walked quietly along the beach, savoring the sound of the waves at night. A child silently ran over, and only when he reached me did I recognize him as Lucas. He threw himself into my arms, crying, Mom, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Without you, the house is a complete mess. Dad is busy with work and left me alone to take care of Elise, but she's always picky and keeps hitting and scolding me. Mom, I miss you so much, please come back soon. Dad misses you too. I quietly listened to him finish his crying, then roughly pulled him out of my arms. Are you done talking? If so, go back to your mom and dad. I have a godson now. He's more obedient and filial than you. I like him very much. Lucas grew desperate, he's just a wild kid. You're not allowed to take him. You're clearly my mom. I held David's hand tightly. Didn't your parents teach you to be polite to others? You have nothing to do with me now. Adrian and I are already divorced. He cried and threw a tantrum, wanting to call me mom, but Elise, who had rushed over, grabbed his hair. Who gave you permission to call her mom? You're with me now, so you're my child. Adrian rushed over, trying to pull her back, not wanting her to make a scene here. But Elise was stubborn, insisting on cursing loudly in front of the crowd. Everyone, come and see. My husband's ex-wife is still entangling with him, even trying to brainwash my son. They're just bullying me because I'm disabled. Everyone, come judge who's right. Her shouting indeed attracted a large crowd, who began to chatter and accuse me from all sides. Noah stood in front of me, explaining on my behalf. My girlfriend has long since cut ties with him. It's always them causing trouble for her. We're already trying to avoid it as much as possible. Noah didn't want me to get caught up in all this drama, so he grabbed me and was about to leave. Adrian and Lucas both called out to me at the same time, don't go. Mom, I really know I was wrong, can you take me with you too? Wife, I know I was wrong, let's get back together. I shook off Noah's hand and walked back. You're the ones who wronged me first. What right do you have to beg for my forgiveness now? You need to take responsibility for your actions. And from now on, don't call me mom or wife anymore. I'm long done with you. After saying that, I took David's and Noah's hands again and left that place full of trouble behind. Adrian shouted loudly from behind, "I love you, Leah. We will definitely get back together." Then came the intense argument between Elise and him. I rolled up the car window, shutting out all the noise. Noah's vacation soon came to an end, and I found a new job as a copy editor. That day, I was at home keeping David company. The door lock made an unusual noise. Adrian had picked the lock and come in. He was covered in blood and nearly crazed as he threw himself onto me. David was hitting him from the side but was slapped away by Adrian. "Leah, let's get back together. I miss you. Elise is really impossible to take care of." I struggled in his arms, but the strength difference between us was overwhelming. He held me tightly on the sofa. "I would rather die than get back together with you. Just seeing you makes me sick." He showed a manic smile and grabbed the scissors from next door. "Then let's die together. We might as well be a pair of doomed lovers." His face was hateful, but the cold touch of the scissors against me still made me tremble. Just as the scissors were about to pierce me, the expected pain never came. Instead, it was Noah who held me tightly in his arms. "I'm sorry, I was late." Adrian was taken away, and I was still trembling in Noah's embrace. David was also beside me, comforting me. It was only later that I learned the garden Adrian was in charge of had problems and posed significant safety risks. But Elise insisted on clinging to him, not letting him handle it, which led to the leader discovering the oversight during an inspection, and he was immediately fired. After returning home, Elise was still throwing a tantrum. Overcome with anger, he grabbed a knife and ended her life. Adrian was sentenced to death, and Lucas was sent to a welfare institution, becoming an orphan. But after all, that was the child I carried for 10 months and gave birth to, so I still provided financial support to the welfare home. Soon, Noah and I held our wedding and had our own child. Noah and I walked hand in hand through decades. The story ends.